Now the same player live at the 13th tee, the par 5, the long one.
Ball started way right. It's going to catch the right rough.
Well, it was on the final 9 holes 2 years ago that he was mano a mano with Tom Watson, and it was in the end Simpson, of course, who came out on top. Is it a big problem there, Jack?
Well, when you hit the ball in the rough on 13, you're going to have to play a mid-iron out unless you get a very, very lucky lie, and you're going to end up playing a long iron to the green, and that's not a green that you want to be playing a long iron into, so it's a difficult position. This is a real par 5.
Nice, driven it right down the middle of the fairway. Beautiful drive. And hooks into the left-hand rough.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that wind really caught that one.
Was the wind increasing as the day went along when you were out there, Jack?
The wind's been very tricky. We just saw Mark McCumber play a shot into 15 a moment ago, and that hole there is the wind either would blow the ball up or let it get through it. And Tom had the same situation there with his tee shot. It was playing right into the wind, and if you get a little bit of draw and it gets up, it turns it sideways. So the wind's becoming a very big factor here in the last few holes.
Taking it away on the left, both right and left rough.
Now Curtis Strange, still tied with Jumbo Ozaki.
This putt from about 40 feet. As Jack said, it's downhill and not quite as fast as it looks, but it's still extremely fast, breaking from right to left.
Now, Ozaki, meanwhile, is in trouble. Remember, he hit that 2-iron under the tree and over the green. Now, Judy, where is he? What's the problem?
Well, Jim, obviously, he hit the shot that he tried to hit, but the ball got up in the air too fast on him and carried on the green. He's really lucky that it's not out of bounds, but he still has a pretty bad problem. The ball was in our camera tower, and he's now trying to get relief from that.
So he's getting a drop from the camera tower.
He is getting a drop, but his play is still going to be very, very difficult.
Meanwhile, here's Curtis Strange. Peter, is Curtis beginning to get the stature in your homeland of the great golfers?
Well, he hasn't appeared there very often. He's missed out on several chances of playing, and so not many Europeans, certainly not many British players have had the pleasure of seeing him play.
Ball's in play.
Okay, now he has dropped. Looks like it's down in there a bit, Judy, is it?
Well, it's very deep. I doubt that it's been mowed any time recently. He had to take relief from the camera tower because of interference from his swing and also relief line of sight.
Okay, now the green is just over that hill there?
The green is straight up from Jumbo's vantage point. He's got a sand wedge in his hand. The pin in the back of the green, maybe some 12 or 15 feet to work with, and a just tremendously hard shot.
Tom Kite from the rough.
He's got a terrible lie, and he has taken a wood club out. I think he figures that the wood can get through the grass a little easier than any kind of a mid-iron. And it topped it and went about 30 yards and still in the left-hand rough.
Oh, dear.
Well, the problem now is he's going to take at least 4 shots to get to the green. Now, here's Ozaki and his dreams of glory maybe disappearing right before our eyes. But who knows? He might.
Oh, this is a great shot, Peter.
Yes, great.
Oh, he sure had the line, but just about no way of holding that much closer, was there, Judy?
But absolutely as good a shot as he could have played from where he was.
Curtis with a par now at 13. That shot at Jumbo's is not one you get a chance to practice very often, Jack. Okay.
Jumbo's quite happy to be on 3-3.
I would think so. Curtis Strange continues to par this golf course. And it's been, what, 31, 32 holes now since he's had a birdie. If you can believe it.
That's the problem with this golf course. The golf course really doesn't have any place that gives you anything, and it's, there just aren't any birdie holes out there.
Well, it looks deceptively calm behind the leaderboard there with the shot that you see. Strange and Ozaki tie for the lead, but maybe not for long. There are the others still fighting on. Chip back on the 17th fairway now, really running out of holes, but he's only one stroke behind.
Come on, baby. Eat him up, darling. Eat him up. Eat him up.
And he's given himself a chance here. Yep. Very tight quarters in the U.S. Open. Jumbo needing this for a par. Stay tied for the lead.
Well, Jim, after we left his ball, it trickled on down the little gentle tier in this green, so
Just kept going, didn't it?
this par attempt is of some length, 30, 35 feet.
He does not make it. Curtis Strange will lead the Open alone, trying to become the first, remember, since Ben Hogan in 1950 and 51 to repeat as U.S. Open champion. It's a good putt.
Terrific putt.
But the bogey 5 will drop him to 1 under par, so Strange leads alone. Tied for second, Ozaki, Kite, Beck, and Scott Simpson. And here's Curtis. He doesn't know it yet, but he's got the lead.
He's taken a 2-iron off this tee. Of course, this is a very short par 4. The main thing he wants to do is just put it in the fairway.
Could you tell, has he been doing much leaderboard watching on the way around?
He certainly did. On number 10, he stared at the leaderboard, and of course he had that little 5-foot tester and knocked it right in the middle. And his caddy came up to me on 11 and said, if we can just par in 8 more pars, we can win, before he put it on 11. Good swing right down the middle of the fairway.
Yes, it sure is.
Perfect position.
One more look at the leaderboard so you can keep it set in your mind. There it is. Strange by himself, and then Kite, Beck, Simpson, and Ozaki. That would seem to be the fight to the finish. Awaiting the champion to be his for 1 year. He takes it home and guards it carefully, they hope. There is the U.S. Open Champions Trophy. What a dream. So we'll return with more action from the 89th U.S. Open Championship after this message and a word from our ABC stations. The leader of the U.S. Open on the 14th fairway, the defending champion, Curtis Strange.
Pretty good
And now
right to left.
Over to Jack Whitaker and Dave Marr.
Thank you, Jim. One shot from Kite, Beck, and Simpson. I'm sorry, Rossi. Go ahead.
Jack, this Jerry Patey has
Okay.
113 yards with a pitching wedge. This is where the golf course really starts to play tough.
Yeah,
Stayed up
nicely
there,
off.
Jack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen a lot go over there and a lot of trouble, and a lot be very short and roll back. All right, here's Osaka. Par 5, 15.
Jack, he looked as though he went with a 5-iron there, and you're going to see in just a second. He's flirting with disaster.
Held up, though, Judy.
Yes.
He had the proper club there. I want to ask Jack Nicklaus, what'd you play there today, Jack, at 17?
Played a little 4-iron, Dave. Hit it in about 10 feet and made it. So it depends whether you keep it under the wind or hit it hard.
Chip Beck for a share of the lead.
Chip's getting married next week, and that would be quite a little deal to be the Open champion.
What indeed. Now, 13, Tom Kite. This is his 5th shot at the par 5.
And this is really a tough shot. Coming out of the rough, severely breaking from left to right.
He is so wonderful with those shots. Now, he might look back later on at the choice of clubs at second shot there.
At 15 was up. Still in it, isn't he? Huh?
He's a very good player. We haven't seen much of him in this country, but he's been a good player in Japan for many, many years, Jack.
Scott Simpson at 13.
Coming across the green, breaking from right to left. Fairly level as far as being uphill or downhill.
Better go.
Larry Nelson at the 14th.
Advantage. That was a big advantage for Curtis to look at that putt. He could see the ball breaking to the left.
He really didn't do very well. At the 18th tee, Chip Beck. Mark McCumber at 16.
That's a 6-iron from 172 yards.
Oh,
And he measured it correctly.
it's a big 6-iron. And
Ooh.
still got a chance. He's been up and down all week also. This for 6, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tom.
As his father looks on Father's Day as Tom Kite. Double bogey here at the 13th. And almost inexplicable, isn't it, Jack Nicklaus?
Well, it's hard to describe what's happened to Tom, and Tom has wanted a major championship so badly, and he's come so close so many times that I'm sure it's very disappointing for him to have this happen to him.
There's Curtis now. We'll have that for par. And leads this tournament by 1 shot. And opening up the United States, going from the Hudson River to the Great Lakes. And there is our Goodyear blimp. He'd slimmed down a little bit, hadn't he?